Next question is, Scott, what are your suggestions for the best deepening routine, and how deep would you put your clients? So what's my suggestion for the best? Deepening. Okay. I wouldn't worry about deepening. I never focused on it. Again, this is just my opinion because you asked the question. Deepening has nothing to do with trance. I understand a lot of people look at it as like the scientific proof, like there's certain brain waves that a client has to get to. But now what you're doing is you're now focusing on the actual trance itself instead of the actual breakthrough. You don't have to worry about depth. I mean, eye closure, we've talked about that in other videos before. You shouldn't be worrying about all that sort of stuff because these are not prerequisites for trance. These are not prerequisites for breakthroughs. So it doesn't matter how deep your clients go, whether they're extremely deep or it's an extremely light trance, as long as your client gets a result, that's what you need to focus on. You may find that if you spend all your time trying to deepen your client to a certain brainwave, and then you start noticing the hypnotic phenomena that's tied to that brainwave, you're now spending so much time worrying about all of those bits and pieces of the trance itself instead of worrying about the breakthrough. Clients will go into trance the way they go into trance. They'll go as deep as they need to. And we know that they'll do this because the unconscious mind essentially takes over. So whether the unconscious mind drags them into a very cataleptic trance, or it's a very upbeat light trance where it looks like they're totally conscious, but you can still see unconscious moments, that's what you should be focusing on. Allow a client to go into trance the way they do. Don't force a client to go deeper. Brainwaves, all that sort of stuff, I don't think are necessary when it comes to trance or any sort of hypnotherapy work. Concentrate on the breakthrough, not about the depth. I can guarantee 100% of the time, a client will never have a better breakthrough because they're deeper. Depth means nothing. Depth, you got to think of it. If you go too far deep, now your client's asleep, and that doesn't work. But there has to be some sort of trance. I agree. There has to be some sort of unconscious moments going on. But the depth things, being or worrying about how deep a client goes doesn't increase the likelihood of a breakthrough or the unconscious moments that happen and the trance phenomenon that happens. Depth, eye closure, all of that sort of stuff it's a byproduct sometimes, that's the key word here, sometimes of trance, but it's not a prerequisite. Focus on the therapy. Don't focus on the hypnotic phenomena, the trance work, the depth, the suggestibility test. Forget about all of that stuff. Start focusing on the actual breakthrough. And you'll see pretty quickly how light a client can actually be in trance and still get a massive breakthrough. So I wouldn't worry about deepening. I don't have any suggestions for the best things because I never used it. I don't think it's necessary. So hopefully that answers your question.